Hello and welcome to Videojug. We're going to show you how to make a vegetarian deep pan, mushroom, artichoke, and goat cheese pizza. Deep pan or deep dish pizza was made famous in Chicago, where the pizzas are baked in deep pans, which gives the dough a springy texture. Often laden with a mountain of toppings, they can also be eaten with a knife and a fork. Step 1. You will need the following ingredients to serve 4 people. For the crust, 200 grams of flour, 120 milliliters of lukewarm water, 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, 25 grams of cornmeal, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and some flour for dusting. For the filling, 100 grams of grated mozzarella, 100 grams of plain goat's cheese, 60 milliliters of olive oil, 100 grams of cherry tomatoes, 4 small artichokes, halved and cooked, 150 grams of mixed mushrooms, 2 garlic cloves sliced, a few sprigs of thyme, and some salt and pepper. Here is a handy list of the ingredients. You will also need the following utensils: 1 26 centimeter deep pizza pan, 1 mixer with a hook attachment, 1 spoon, 1 tea towel, 1 bowl, a frying pan, a knife, a rolling pin, a set of tongs, and finally, a tray. Step 2. Make the dough. Start the dough by adding the flour into the bowl of the mixer. Follow with the water, yeast, cornmeal, salt, sugar, and the olive oil. Knead on a slow speed for about 6 to 8 minutes. When the dough all comes together and starts to cling to the hook, it is ready to remove. Now place onto a clean working surface and sprinkle with a little flour. To finish the dough, knead it using the heel of your hand for 3 to 5 minutes until it becomes shiny and elastic. Then, place it into a bowl, cover with the tea towel, and let it rise until it doubles in volume, which will roughly take 1 hour. Tip: all this can be done by hand if you wish. Step 3. Make the toppings. Next, place the frying pan on a medium to high heat. Pour in some olive oil, and then add the artichokes. Sear them briefly on one side for 1 minute. Then remove with your tongs and set aside on a tray. Pour a little more oil into the pan. Then add the mushrooms. Season with salt and pepper. Add a little more oil, followed by the cherry tomatoes, the rest of the oil, and then the garlic and the thyme. Toss and remove from the heat. Transfer it all to a tray and allow it to cool down to room temperature. Tip: never put hot toppings on pizza dough or the heat might make the dough tear. Step 4. Preheat the oven. Now set your oven to 250 degrees centigrade or the highest gas mark. Step 5. Continue the dough. After the dough is risen, remove the tea towel. Sprinkle your work surface and your hands with a little flour, then using your knuckles, punch the air out of the dough a few times. Remove it from the bowl and place it onto the work surface. Knead it into a ball. Sprinkle over some flour. Cover with the tea towel and let it rest for 3 to 4 minutes. Step 6. Finish the dough. Now sprinkle a little flour over your hands in the dough and begin to shape the dough into a disc shape. Then flour the rolling pin and roll it out roughly to the size of the pizza pan. Then stretch it by hand. Carefully expand it outwards. Then place it in the pizza tray and continue to work it into the size and mold of the tray. Ensure the dough goes right to the edges. Cover it with a towel. This keeps it moist and stop a crust forming. Let it rise again for roughly 20 minutes. Tip: a plastic bag can be used to cover the dough instead of a towel and will work just as well. Step 7. Build and bake. After the dough has risen, spread the grated mozzarella on the pizza, leaving enough space around the edge. Top with the artichokes. The mushrooms and the cherry tomatoes. Finish with a few knobs of goat cheese on top. Now place the pizza in the oven and let it cook for about 12 to 15 minutes. Step 8. Remove and serve. Take the pizza out of the oven when it is golden brown. Serve immediately while the cheese and toppings are still bubbling hot. Pizza goes well with cold beer, red wine, and of course, a lot of good conversation. Enjoy! And that's how to make a deep dish mushroom, artichoke, and goat cheese pizza the Videojug way.